everybody. It's been a long time since I've actually posted anything on my own channel, because everything I have been posting has been on the band's channel. So as it's been a while, I'll just give you a quick reminder of who I am. My name is Brooksy. I play guitar for the band Beneath the Noose, and I do some slight production roles behind the scenes as well. Yes, mainly with the pre-pro demos, but there have been talks about me not quite being the main producer, but that's a whole different story for a whole different time. So, now, originally, I was going to do something a little bit different. I mean, broadly similar to the video I'm going to do now, but the problem is, I did film that video, and I did start editing it, but the problem was, I was editing so much of it out, because I spent far too much time doing finger pointers, like this person did this person did that. It was just a really immature thing for me to do. So I'll scrap that one. I thought start again. Just get to the bare basic of what I'm trying to get at here. Yeah, so I really need to start scripting some of these. Right, what I want to talk about today is my problems with modern day recordings. In regards to whether it's the tech or what various bands are doing with it, just various different things. So today I'm gonna break down three main reasons why I'm not a fan of modern day recordings. And again, just to clarify, yes, a lot of the guys in the band have spoken about using modern methods which, if used correctly, I'm not against. Because me as a producer, I use a lot of modern practices which have helped make my recording so much easier. However, there's the other side of it. That is what I want to get into today. Now, right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to break down three reasons why modern day recording is a bit of a no-go for me. So, here we go. Number one, too much of the same thing. Now, what I mean by that is, I was watching Glenn Fricker's YouTube channel, and I'm a big fan of Glenn Fricker. Most of my methods I've learned from Glenn Fricker, so cheers, Glenn. Appreciate that. Now, I was watching one of his videos. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and when he was talking about the vintage 30. Yeah, anyway, before I got off on a tangent, he basically said that when the vintage 30 came along, I was like, that's the speaker for me. I want that for my band. Oh, I want that for my band as well. I need it. And before you know it, every single person was using the exact same amps, the exact same speakers, and the exact same methods. And then once amp sims started coming in, particularly for people like Joey Sturgis, for example, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not against amp sims. I mean, I've got two on my computer. I mean, my two personal favourites are the Grindstein and Fluff's 5034 or whatever it's called. I can't remember, but it is a great sounding amp sim. I'll give him that. Yeah, but the problem is that no one, because of these modern recording methods, no one is really going after their own sound anymore. They're mainly just going after the presets. And that is one of those things that really annoys me. Because how many times have you heard, oh, all these modern bands sound the same? Because in that sense, it's true. Because they're all using the same equipment, they're going about it the exact same way, and there is literally just nothing new in regards to sound. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I worded that horribly, but there are still some really unique sounds out there. But not enough bands are doing it now, and that is a really sad thing to hear. Because if you think about it, back in the day, because yes, I am a very old school guy. I mean, I love my favourite bands are bands like Judas Priest, Machine Head, Megadeth, all of those bands. Yes, I do prefer Megadeth over Metallica, but that's purely because of Dave Mustaine's guitar riffing, which is just ace. And many of those bands sounded unique from one another, because they all had their own different tones, sounds, and styles, which is all great. But the problem is, if you get a band that's too influential, more and more bands start to think, right, how do I get this tone? I was like, seriously, just stop doing all of that. Just stop it. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with getting experimental and coming up with your own sound, which is what I'm trying to do. Because I've got a load of amps here with. I mean, one of my amps has got a pair of Fane speakers, and my Black Star 412 that's got some of the crappy vintage those, which I want to get rid of at some point, and just replace it with just anything that's not a vintage 30. So I want to get into that at some point. So, but again, that's a whole different video for another day. So yeah. To end off the number 1 point, get imaginative, and on to number 2. And number 2, laziness. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of people are going to get really mad at me over this, but like I said earlier in the video, the rest of the guys in the band want to get recording using modern methods, which if used correctly, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm not a problem whatsoever. The one thing that worries me is by what they potentially mean when they use modern methods, because it's no secret that I'm an old school guy, like I've just said. But the reason I like all those a lot of older bands is because all of those bands actually played their parts. And back in the day, there was no auto-tune, like no quantizing, no time alignment, no digital correction of any kind. Nowadays, it's fucking everywhere. Now, because Dave and I, we have spoken about this a couple of times, and obviously I'm one of the youngest people in the band, and yeah, for some reason I like the most old school stuff. Yeah, because the one argument about modern recording is literally just anywhere you look, you're always going to have at least one person that says, "Oh, we don't need to play our parts perfectly every time anymore. You know, times have changed." So what? So what if times have changed? It's just one of those things that just really fucking annoys me. Yeah, because playing your parts in the studio, you're supposed to encapsulate or supposed to encapsulate your physical capabilities as a musician. Okay, and then if you just get like any form of digital corrector or anything like pitch correction or time alignment or quantizing or whatever, where's the fun in that? Okay, and then again with a lot of modern recordings, not modern recordings, with a lot of older recordings, yes, they're not perfect, but that's what made them great in my honest opinion. Yeah, because Dave Mustaine, especially back in the 80s, he was too off his face to be a perfect guitarist, but somehow he still managed to pull off being a guitar great. And it's just the same with Alexi Leo. Even though he was off his face for most of his life, he was still able to play. And but the problem is, a lot of modern bands they tend to abuse this digital correction far too much. And that leads me on to my number 3 point, and that is number 3: what it can potentially lead to. Now, the one example I'm going to use of this, just for reference, I'm not going to say who this band is, because I genuinely do like this band's music. But so I'm just going to say this band. Not that long ago, me and the guys, we had our first group outing as a band. It was like all 6 of us. No, all 6 of us, which was me, Dave, Tom, Russell, Darryl, and Gabe. We all went to see a band that we were all looking forward to seeing. We all liked the music, and originally I was a bit skeptical about going, because I watched some of this band's live clips with their new drummer, and something was a bit off about him. Yeah, and even when I listened to the first album that they did with this drummer, there was something at the back of my head that made me think either the drums are incredibly fake or it's insanely heavily quantized. Now, now, but I thought, yeah, you know what? Maybe it was just a one-off thing. Maybe it was just having an off day because I did only watch that one live clip. So we got to the gig, and this drummer's footwork was absolutely fucking atrocious. And bear in mind that this was the drummer of the headlining band. And it was that bad. I literally had to say something in the group chat that this is why I don't like modern recording methods. Because like I said in point number 2, that too many bands are resorting to laziness, which is eventually going to affect their live performances. And my argument, we're using old school methods, which I prefer to do, has always been, if you can't do it in the studio, why the fuck would you bother trying to do it live? I mean, and for some reason, because they all go back to saying the same thing. Yeah, times have changed, right? Yeah. But if your drummer can't get convincing footwork together, I mean, we literally just. I mean, he couldn't even do that at that exact speed. I'm just like, where the fucking hell did they find this guy? I'm not saying his wrist work or anything. His wrist work was fine, but his footwork, it's just that drummer was the perfect example of why I don't trust a lot of modern recording methods. And the thing is, I even watched some clips of that band with their previous drummer. He fucking wiped the fucking floor with their new drummer. And this wasn't just in the studio. This was live performances. Their previous drummer absolutely crushed it every single time. So it just makes me wonder, why the fuck did they settle for a guy who was nowhere near as good? Just so I can say, we got the job done in the studio. Yeah, but I bet you anything that was the mix/producer that did most of the work. And it was actually just one of those things where I would go and see that band again, but not with that drummer, because everybody else in the band was fantastic. The vocalist sounded even better than he did on the album. The guitarist was amazing. The bassist was amazing. In fact, all of those 3 members as vocalists were amazing. But their drummer, it was because of their drummer alone that this band were literally the weakest band of the night for me. And these were the headliners. I mean, because literally drummers with footwork like that, those are the sort of things that I expect from opening pub bands, not headlining the O2. It was just a massive letdown for me, and it's something I've brought up to the guys multiple times about, but I'm not going to go too far into that, because again that's a whole different discussion for another day. I mean, me and Dave might talk about it on the Beardy Bullshitters podcast. I mean, who knows? Because hopefully starting next year we are looking to do it again. So, number 4, imperfections are what make it sound better. I'll give you one example. Well, because I produced Mouth Breather. I mean, the song that Beneath the Noose released last year. Well, earlier this year is here. Sorry. I will admit, well, I did have to quantize some of the vocal layers. Yeah, but the only reason I had to resort to that was because of how much time we had, because we gave ourselves a deadline. But if you listen really, really carefully, if you listen to the part where Tom and Ross are just going, break down these doors. Yeah. Now, in the mix, you can't really hear it, but the very first syllable of the line where he goes break, there was the vast majority of those. It was mainly Tom who didn't do it perfectly in time. But I deliberately left them slightly out of time, and the main reason I did that was, even though it wasn't perfectly in time, it was still kind of within the same sort of time bracket that it was acceptable for it to be out of time. So instead of it going break down these doors without the instead, because it was close enough together, it gave that a lot more emphasis. So instead of going, it just went, and yeah, you can probably hear it on the mix. It literally just sounds like one person going, but it wasn't. That was just two bits being deliberately left out of time to give that opening of the line a lot more emphasis. And to be fair, Tom pretty much said it perfectly. There is no such thing as a perfect double take, and to be fair, he is 100% right. I can't argue that. Because there is no need for there to be a perfect double take, because a non-perfect take, if done correctly, is what makes it sound thick. And again, well, even when I was doing the bass tracks with Dave, because Dave was playing bass at the time, and he even admitted this during the session. Okay, as the session kind of progressed, because we did like each section at a time. Yeah, because well, it's mainly when we were doing the yeah, he admitted to me because there were four separate takes that weren't perfect, but within the same time bracket. It was that made the bass sound much thicker. Now, and that is because there is no such thing as a perfect double take, because it doesn't need to be a perfect double take. Or in the case of the guitars and bass, it doesn't need to be a perfect fourth take, which is basically what we did. Because with the guitars and bass, we quad-tracked everything, and with the vocals, I pretty much double-tracked everything. Now, again, like I said, I do tend to prefer a lot of older recordings for the reasons I've just stated, but I'm not against all modern day recordings. And it's just another thing I want to point out as well, something I probably should have pointed out earlier on in the video. I got a lot of people, because actually I probably should have pointed this out for reason number 2, which is laziness. Because with a lot of bands nowadays, because a lot of them play along to backing tracks, which again, if done correctly, is fair enough. I ain't got a problem with that. Yeah, because pretty much every band I've gone to see in the last 5 years, it uses some form of backing tracks. I mean, Lorna Shore, prime example, because they have all those orchestral elements in the back, which, by the way, sound fucking amazing. Now, I just want to say this mainly about drummers, because if so many bands want to use modern methods, then when it comes to laziness, you genuinely can't afford to be lazy when playing live. Because if you're going to play the some form of backing track live, then you have to be even tighter than what you would be if you were just playing organically. I mean, that's just a straight up fact. And you can argue all you want about it, but if you want to play with a backing track, you've got to be tight with the backing track, and you have to do it every single night. Whereas if you play organically, a lot of the time you're basically following the drummer, which personally I prefer. Which is one of the reasons I love working with Dave so much, because we've been playing together for years. So, and Dave and I, we're one of those musical pairings where I almost instinctively know when we're writing a song what Dave's going to do next on the drums. If he's going to go for a blast beat, if he's going to go for a breakdown kind of thing. I almost know that he's going to do whatever I believe he's going to do next, and I'm very rarely wrong about it. And Dave a lot of the time is very rarely wrong about what I'm going to do next. So, but that's the kind of partnership that I love in music. Just having someone to bounce off, and always having to know what someone's going to do next. Now, anyway, got off on a bit of a tangent again. So, right, I'm just gonna do my closing thoughts. Not all modern methods are bad, because a lot of them I do practice on a regular basis. If done correctly, that they can serve a much greater purpose than what they do now. But the problem is, certain bands are using modern day methods as either an excuse to be lazy, or just trying to emulate something that already exists, which is why hardly anything sounds original nowadays. Now, I will admit there are times are slightly starting to change recently because there are a lot of bands who are starting to come forward with a lot more unique sounds. I mean, Sleep Token, prime example. I mean, I'm not really a fan of Sleep Token because I'm one of those people. I still don't fully understand why they've got as much hype as they have, but at least they sound unique. And I just genuinely wish more bands would go down that route, because it's just going to get to a point where if everybody just dives down this right, what's the preset? Right, how much can I auto-tune it? I don't know, I set up, how much like quantizing do we need? That pretty much just takes out any form of feeling from the music. So yeah, basically, those are my thoughts about the entire situation, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me about this. There are going to be some people who are just going to continue being lazy, but you know what? It's their choice. Fuck them. Let them do what they want. But for me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to continue doing things the old-fashioned way, especially when it comes to my recordings, because I don't believe in all this fixing the mix bollocks. Because again, the one thing I don't tolerate in the studio is laziness. So I'm literally just going to keep playing my parts in the studio until I get them right. Because once again, if I can't play them in the studio, what fucking chance have I got of playing it live? So that's pretty much my attitude towards it. So, and yeah, that's pretty much my take on everything. And I've got to admit, it feels great to be posting back on my main channel again. So hopefully I can start doing it a bit more in 2024. So fingers crossed for that. I mean, I did get a couple of videos started a couple of months ago, but again, you know, life just got in the way. So I might do a continuation of them, but if I can get the time to do it, then I'll try and squeeze the time in, because there are a lot of things I want to do, mainly involving recording, especially with my two amps and cabinets over here. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up here. So I've been rambling on too much. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've learned something. Like and subscribe, and hopefully it won't be another year before I release another video. Take care, everybody. See you next time.